Hello, I'm Jean Gray, publisher of American Entrepreneurship Today. Welcome to this special video tutorial from our Experience Voices podcast series. One of the questions I hear most often from founders is, how do I actually get the money to build my startup? The funding landscape can be incredibly noisy and intimidating, but it doesn't have to be a mystery. In this session, we're going to cut through that noise. I'll walk you through the essential stages of funding your startup, from those early days of bootstrapping to navigating the world of angel investors and venture capital. My goal is to give you the clarity and the strategy you need to secure the right kind of capital for your unique venture. Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the fuel that keeps the entrepreneurial engine running: capital. Funding isn't just about getting a check, it's a strategic journey of de-risking your business. Every dollar you raise should buy you runway, the time you need to hit your next major milestone. But remember, outside capital isn't free. It's a trade-off between speed and ownership. Before you start asking for money, you need to know where you sit on the map. Most startups follow a standard path. It starts with pre-seed, where you just start building a prototype, and moves to seed, where you prove people actually want what you're building. Once you're ready to scale, you move into the letter rounds, Series A, B, and C. Each stage requires more data, higher revenue, and more professional operations. In the beginning, when your company is basically a PowerPoint and a dream, you look for angel investors. These are individuals, often successful founders themselves, investing their own personal bank accounts. Because it's their own money, they can be very emotional and supportive. They aren't just looking at your spreadsheets, they're betting on you. So how do you find them? Cold emails rarely work. Angels move on trust and warm intros. You'll find them in local angel groups or on platforms like AngelList. When you pitch them, keep it simple. What is the massive problem you found? Why is your solution the best one? And why are you the person to get it done? Now let's talk about the big leagues, venture capital. Unlike angels, VCs are managing a professional fund on behalf of institutions like pension funds. They aren't just looking for a good business. They are looking for unicorns. Because many of their investments will fail, the ones that succeed must succeed big enough to pay for all the losers. If an angel is like a first date, a VC is like a prenuptial agreement. Their due diligence is intense. They look under every rug, checking your intellectual property, interviewing your customers, and auditing your financials. They need to be 100% sure your market is large enough to support a massive exit, either through an IPO or an acquisition. It's important to understand the difference. Angels are faster and more flexible, but they have less dry powder to help you later on. VCs bring huge amount of cash and institutional credibility, but they will likely want a seat on your board and a say in how you run the company. Choose the partner that fits your current speed and your long-term goals. To wrap up, fundraising is a full-time job. You need a tight 12-slide deck and an organized data room ready for inspection. But most importantly, you need thick skin. You're going to hear no dozens, maybe hundreds of times. Use every no as a data point to refine your pitch until it becomes a yes. Now let's get to work. Before we finish, let's talk shop. If you're going to play the game, you have to speak the language. You'll hear VCs talk about your burn rate, which is just a fancy way of asking you how fast you're spending their money, and your runway, which is how long you will have until you hit a wall. Pay close attention to your cap table. Every time you take a check, you face dilution, meaning your slice of the pie gets smaller, even if the pie itself is getting much bigger. Finally, remember that everything starts with the term sheet. It's not a final contract, but it sets the tone for your entire relationship with your new partners. Understand these terms and the others listed, and you'll walk into a room with much more confidence. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial, How to Fund Your Startup. Check out our full Experience Voices podcast series. Look for more how-to segments that help you start, fund, and grow your business.